Kia ora, my name is Anna and I'm a first year PhD student at the University of Canterbury's National Centre for Research on Europe. My PhD research is looking at the ethics of the use of surveillance technological bordering practices on maritime migrants within Europe. In my undergrad degree, I read a quote by Judith Butler which urges us to ask under what conditions some human lives cease to become eligible for basic, if not universal, human rights. And this quote has really stuck with me and has been a guiding force for a lot of my research interests, which has really led me to focus my research on asylum seekers, which is a group I think is paradigmatic of that phenomenon. So in my bachelor's degree, which I got in geography from the University of Southampton, I conducted a critical discourse analysis in my dissertation to look at the British media's coverage of the 2016 European refugee crisis in order to explore the ways that Syrian refugees' identities were constructed in a binary as being either vulnerable or threatening. After my undergraduate degree, I took a few years away from academia to live and work and promptly fall in love with New Zealand. But then I returned to the UK in 2020 to pursue my master's degree from King's College London. And my master's degree was in geopolitics, territory and security. And under the course coordinator Richard Schofield, there was a real heavy emphasis on processes of bordering and boundary making. And this was where my interest in bordering practices really began. So my master's dissertation was a political discourse analysis on the debate in Australia around medical care for asylum seekers in offshore detention in Nauru and Manus Island. And a key part of this research was really understanding the ways that states could weaponise their territory and their borders against asylum seekers, arguably abrogating their international responsibilities to them. After my master's, I again spent some years away from academia and I worked in media monitoring and analysis in the UK. And it was here that I began to really notice the increasingly inflammatory rhetoric that was happening around small boat arrivals, which was a phenomenon that really took off after Brexit. And it was also there that I began to question the normalisation of technologies and surveillance technologies particularly being presented as the solution to this problem. So I moved back to New Zealand in March of this year and joined the National Centre for Research on Europe to conduct research looking at the use of technologies such as drones, helicopters, planes and satellites as the ostensible solution to the irregular migration problem in the UK. My PhD research aims to explore the ethics behind these technological solutions and will specifically look at the border between the UK and France as a localised case study, although since bordering practices are widely exportable and widely applicable, the findings will be more broadly relevant as well. My research will span the breadth of 4 different bordering layers, so that is legislation, political discourse, practice and materiality, and it will explore the ethics within each layer before then comparing the ethics between layers. The aim of the research is to make transparent the ethics of technological bordering, and it's an increasingly important task as academics have argued that the introduction of bordering technologies has outpaced meaningful consideration of the ethical implications. And it is increasingly urgent in light of the fact that AI technologies are increasingly becoming involved in bordering practices as well. Responsible and ethical deployment of technology requires transparency around both motivations and outcomes of new technologies, and it's this clash between motivations and outcomes that will be explored in my research. I am very much looking forward to attending the HUI workshop in Taiwan to improve my research and methodologies and to hear about other research happening in the field of European studies. Thank you.